works, and your refusal to answer questions here is a contempt of Parliament. And so that is something that we can take up. I know it's great. You take great umbrage in the fact that that a subpoena had to be issued, and that had you not appeared today, a warrant would have been issued and you would have been arrested and brought before this committee. So,
hey gang, what's up? Just Ehren right here, Question Period Canada. A very exciting day on Parliament Hill. The OGO committee is investigating GC Strategies, which is a two-man company that was working from a basement that made $20 million, $60 million, $250 million on some stupid app that didn't work, that was supposed to cost $80,000. This Kristian Firth, who turns out is a pretty hostile witness, very uncooperative, dodges so many questions, is put on the grill by Mike Barrett, an MP from Ontario, and this guy is serious. Mike Barrett tears him apart. It changes Kristian Firth. He's smug and arrogant in the beginning, but by the end, after Mike Barrett's through with him, his confidence is gone and he's scared. He's looking just to get out of there early. Let's take a look at Mike Barrett, who is absolutely on fire here, tearing up Kristian Firth. He calls him out. It's wild. Let's check out Mike Barrett.
Start with Mr. Barrett for 6 minutes, please.
Mr. Firth, it's correct that you have legal counsel with you this morning?
That's correct.
So this is the first time of your appearances where you have a lawyer present, but didn't in previous appearances. Have you ever lied to a parliamentary committee before?
I think the previous testimony, you see the answer with that one, about the chalet and the cottage.
So is that a yes?
I advise you to go and watch my previous testimony.
Well, I was there, and I asked the question, and of course, you did lie about Mr. McDonald's secondary residence, quite famously on it not being a cottage, but in fact it being a chalet. Further, you lied about meeting government officials outside of government offices, and further, you lied about providing hospitality to government officials. There was a great deal of information that was requested of you that was not furnished to the committee, promising to tell the committee who in government contacted you about ARRIVECAN. That information hasn't been provided to us. You didn't disclose meetings with government officials, and you failed to provide documentation that the committee has asked you for. Last week, government officials announced that files concerning GC Strategies' role and involvement in ARRIVECAN have been sent to the RCMP. Did the government make you aware of that? Yes or no, please?
No, they have not.
Has the RCMP contacted you about ARRIVECAN?
No, they have not.
So the RCMP has, further, they have not interviewed you?
That is correct.
Have you been contacted by the RCMP about any work relating to any companies or ventures that you're involved in and their work with the Government of Canada or government officials?
No, I have not.
Do you know if your partner, Darren Anthony, has been contacted by the RCMP to the same effect?
I do know, and he has not.
If requested by the RCMP, will GC Strategies files, computers, emails, cell phones, and any area where data is stored or devices that have been used to communicate with the Government of Canada as part of their investigation into the ARRIVECAN, will you voluntarily submit that information to the RCMP?
We will deal directly with the RCMP once they contact us.
Sir, how much did you state in your previous appearance before this committee were you paid to work on ARRIVECAN?
For the ARRIVECAN application build, which is what we gave our numbers to the committee for last year, we said it was approximately $11 million was the application build.
Okay. The Auditor General, though you've said that all of the reporting about your company since your last appearance has been false, there's been heavy media reporting about the work of Canada's Auditor General. She detailed a different number. Is the information that the Auditor General has submitted incorrect?
Yes, it is. We actually were asked by the Auditor General to give comment prior to the report being published, whether we could support the numbers that they were putting in there. And actually, if you remember from my last previous testimony when I was ridiculed and being called disingenuous for not having the true cost of ARRIVECAN, we discussed the fact that there were 3 COVID-19 pandemic contracts. There was not one that was solely set aside for ARRIVECAN. So I can understand why it was hard for the Auditor General, with her also indicating that some of the task authorizations for ARRIVECAN could have had resources doing no work. Since my testimony and how I got the numbers there, I painstakingly went through every single invoice, spoke to every consultant, and got an understanding of what their level of effort was for the ARRIVECAN application build. And my numbers were in line with what Mr. Utano testified last time.
Okay. That's information that you ought to have had at your last appearance, but I'll take the Auditor General's word that that the number was in excess of $19 million, which of course is not the number that you submitted to this committee. At your second appearance before this committee, you testified that you did not meet with government officials outside of government offices, and we now know that you did that on multiple occasions. Why did you lie to this committee?
It was not a lie. I just was unaware. I hadn't checked all of my Outlook, but I can tell the committee today that I have met with officials outside of work.
Of course, we know that, sir, and we understand that you're telling us that now, having been caught in the lie. The question is, why did you believe it was necessary to attempt that that deception before this parliamentary committee?
It wasn't a deception. I just wasn't informed of all the meetings that I had or had not had. I wouldn't have access to my Outlook.
What are the names of all of the government officials that you have met with outside of government offices?
I'm more than happy to provide that information in writing, but I'm not prepared to do that right now televised.
Are you able to name a single? Well, sir, it's not your discretion which answers that you're able to provide in writing. I'm asking you a question. Are you refusing to answer the question?
No, I gave you my answer. I'm not refusing to answer the question. I will give you the names.
So what are the names, sir? What are the names, sir?
That is, yeah, I have to interrupt. That is our time.
So that's round one, and Kristian Firth comes off to me as very smug and arrogant. Doesn't answer questions, isn't prepared to be there, like he didn't know what kinds of questions he was going to be asked. It's ridiculous. Mike Barrett is going to get more pissed off and come at Firth even harder.
The witness is refusing to answer questions under the auspices of a hypothetical, according to him, and he is required to answer the questions put to him by this committee, unless I'm mistaken. And if I am mistaken, I just ask for you to correct my understanding. But the witness is required to provide this information, and his lawyer would be able to tell him that it wouldn't prejudice a police investigation.
Yeah, it's a fair point. We do require witnesses to answer questions. Actually, from looking at the item from swearing in witnesses refuses. Okay. Refusal to answer questions, a failure to reply truthfully may give rise to a charge of contempt in the House. We will get to Barrett, Mr. Barrett, go ahead, please.
That we have a round of questions with you. It seems like there's a lot of cleanup afterwards. I have to go back to the question Ms. Bloc asked you. That was, who were your contacts with the government at the following departments and agencies? CBSA, Innovation, Science, Economic Development Canada, Employment and Social Development Canada. Are you telling us you don't know the answers to that question, or is your answer that you're refusing to provide us with the information that you have?
Oh, not at all. Actually, I think my answer was I will provide those to you in writing after this meeting.
Do you know the answer?
That's exactly what I said.
My question is, do you know? Then provide it,
I do know
sir.
the answer. I will after this meeting with writing.
You know, I think that you have a grave misunderstanding of how this process works, and your refusal to answer questions here is a contempt of Parliament. And so that is something that we can take up. I know it's great. You take great umbrage in the fact that that a subpoena had to be issued, and that had you not appeared today, a warrant would have been issued, and you would have been arrested and brought before this committee. So you're here very much not because you want to be forthcoming. You're here only under the threat of arrest. So that's what we're dealing with and trying to get answers from you. So you'll have to excuse me if I don't believe you, sir, that you're going to bring us the answers after the cameras go off and the committee is adjourned. Because in your first back and forth that you and I had, you admitted to having perjured yourself in a previous appearance at this committee. So I have to go back and talk about that again. You admitted to meeting officials in private residences, and you exposed your own lie. And so I need to know, what are the names of government officials that you have met with anywhere outside of government offices? Just the names.
First of all, I want to address the first thing you said, where I don't want to be here because I want to be arrested. I don't want to be here because my family and myself and my kids have been threatened. And people have come like, that's the real reason why I don't want to be here.
The question is very straightforward. It's for a list of names.
Yeah, which I'm happy to give you. And I'm admitting I will give you those within 24 hours after the testimony.
I don't believe you. Did you ever meet with Philip Johnston in a private residence or any place other than a government office?
I've met with Philip Johnson outside of work, yes.
Where?
At a pub.
When?
2021.
We're going to circle back to that. Have you ever met with Min Doan in a private residence or anywhere other than a government office?
No, I have not.
Same question. Cameron McDonald.
I have met him outside of work. We heard the testimony 3 times.
When and where, sir?
I'm happy to provide that information in 24 hours. I don't have that in front of me.
Same question. Antonio Utano.
Yes, I have.
When and where?
Again, I will get you that information.
Kelly Belanger.
I have never met with Kelly Belanger outside of work.
Mark Briard.
Yes, I've met with Mark Briard outside of work.
When and where?
I'll get you that information.
So this is interesting, and so again, you'll have to excuse my my unwillingness to take at face value that you're going to provide us information after, because I asked you these questions when you appeared before this committee before, and you said that you hadn't met with officials, government officials outside of government offices. That, sir, and you can check with your lawyer or with a dictionary, is a lie. It's perjury. At your first appearance before this committee, you testified that you did not know and were not privy to any hospitality being given to anyone who worked for the government of Canada. Is that true, or is that a lie?
I'm answering your question. I've just given you the names of all the people, and I agreed that I've actually taken these people. We've been outside of work.
The question, sir, is on hospitality. You had said previously that you weren't privy to information on whether that had happened, and it seems like that's a lie.
No, I'm just telling you I'm privy now to information that happened, and I've agreed that those people I've met outside of work.
So, well, you're agreeing now. You disagreed before, sir. Both in documents and testimony, we now know that you, sir, in fact provided hospitality to Government of Canada officials on multiple occasions. And you lied about it. You lied about it, but you lied about it to the committee. If you're content that everything was well within the bounds, if you've acted above board, my question to you, sir, is why is it every time you come to this committee do you lie to parliamentarians and you lie to Canadians?
I'm telling the truth. I have met with all of those people outside of work in a hospitality manner.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Mr. Sousa, please.
Chair, just a point of order. There were a number of instances, obviously, during Mr. Barrett's questions in which the witness point blank refused to answer questions. I wonder if you, as chair, can, on behalf of the committee, direct the witness to provide answers to the questions that were asked.
Mr. Firth, I think there was a couple you said that you had but would not provide at this time, but we're going to wait till later to provide for us.
That was just the information for the resources of the Canadian officials for those certain departments. I'm providing those within 24 hours. The contacts, yes. Like I'm not saying no to any of these questions. I'm just saying I will provide them after.
Do you have? But I guess the question is, do you have that information now with you?
I don't have the information with me right now. That's part of the reason why I'm asking for 24 hours to collect it.
Okay.
Chair,
Yeah, just bear with us.
that is not what the witness said. The witness said, in fact, that with the way the meeting is going, he wasn't prepared to provide them in public.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Firth,
That was actually
yeah, Mr. Firth, that is, I heard as chair, I have the information, but I'm not going to provide it right now. I'll provide it later in writing, which is different than I don't have the information now. I think you need to be
Sorry, it
just
was
very,
misspoken.
very clear with your answers.
I will be very clear
I don't
with what
have
I'm
this
saying.
information available to me now. I'll provide it later, or I'm not willing to provide it at this time.
Thank you, Chair. I'll clarify. I have the information not with me at the present, and I will provide it within 24 hours when I need to collect it.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Firth. I realize it's difficult, but I just ask you please take the time to clarify these things carefully.
You can see the demeanor in Kristian Firth is changing after a couple of goes with Mike Barrett. Also, Kelly McCauley and Garnet Genu have also been involved in this. Kelly Bloc has set him straight as well, and he is changing. After this last round with Barrett, Firth is going to try to escape.
is a significant part of your job contacting and communicating with government, their departments, agencies, or crown corporations?
Yes, it is.
And how many hours per month would you say that you spend on that?
It's hard to quantify that because if we're busy with existing contracts, then there's contract management and other components versus new business development and interactions and identifying new opportunities.
Let's look for a number. You can use you and your partner combined, Mr. Anthony. How many hours per month?
Sorry, I can answer that honestly, accurately. Sorry.
Is it more than 80?
Yes, per month, for sure.
More than 80 per month. Okay. Is it more than 100?
I can't quantify. I'm just giving you an answer of 80. More than 80.
So do you also that includes proactively making the government aware of the services that you offer?
Again, sorry, it depends. It depends on whether or not we are. With ARRIVECAN, there was not 80 hours of meeting and proposing and getting new business because we were managing 100 resources at that time.
Are you
So
registered?
it varies.
Are you registered to lobby?
No, I'm not because we do not charge a fee.
As an owner of GC Strategies, you obviously have control over your company's website. You were here 16 months ago as part of the Arrive scam inquiry, and I asked you in October 2022 to provide names of senior government officials that offer glowing endorsements for you on your website. I want to read some of those because you haven't had a chance over the last 16 months, I guess, to furnish us with that information. Here's one for you. I think they are first and foremost are a taxpayer. They, GC Strategy, see the bigger picture and do not chase the quick sale. I think they are first and foremost are a taxpayer and see efficiency and getting the best value for government. That's the chief data officer of the public sector. Who was that? What's their name?
So first of all, apologies for not getting that information to you. I thought I had. I mean, I sent hundreds of pages at that date, and I'm more than happy to give you that information in writing.
Okay, let's be serious, sir. You've had 16 months, and so you want us to believe that you're going to provide us with that information now that you've been asked again. Government of Canada senior executive said, quote, GC Strategies listen and try to find solutions to my problem versus selling me a solution to a problem I've never had. Who is that person?
So I'm sorry, you can ask me the 3 or 4 that are on there, and my answer is going to be the same. I will get you that information. I promise you that. I thought I'd sent it over 16 months ago.
Let me be very clear that in the Arrive scam, there are all kinds of players who play all kinds of different roles, and you've demonstrated yourself to be a liar. You've lied before a parliamentary committee on multiple occasions. You even undertook to provide to me this information 16 months ago. You and I had this exchange. And now you're here, and the only reason you came was because you were threatened to be arrested, and you've come virtually, and now your undertaking is to provide the information you promised, cross your heart, that you're going to do it this time, but you couldn't do it before. It strains reason and certainly demonstrates that you don't have any credibility when it comes to the questions that we ask, and which leaves me to wonder what I should even bother asking you, because I can't believe anything that you're going to say. Will you provide us with those names right now? You obviously know who the VP of a major crown corporation was who appears on your website. The Chief Information Officer for the Government of Canada. What was the name? You know.
I said previously, I will give you these information.
No, sir. I do not accept that. You will provide this committee with a name. You told us 16 months. You've had 16 months. You've had 16 months to do it. And this is your opportunity now to demonstrate that you are true to your word. So are you going to make that demonstration, or are you going to prove what we know to be true, and that's that you're not honest?
Like I said, I appreciate the question. I will give you the answers.
Yeah, your appreciation for the question isn't the reason that I asked it.
Okay.
I'm looking for the information.
Okay. I said I would give you the information.
Yeah, you also said that 16 months ago. Sir, it is not just contempt of Parliament, but it's contemptuous to Canadians. They are lined up at food banks in record numbers, and you are raking in millions of dollars off the backs of Canadians. And then when you're called to provide even just the smallest bit of accountability, you laugh in Canadians' face. And it's disgusting, to be clear. And well, we'll see if you do in fact provide those names finally this time. But after 16 months, I certainly don't believe you, and neither can Canadians.
Thanks. That is our time. Mr. Firth, you're welcome to offer a quick response. Otherwise, we'll go to Mr. Kosmuchuk. Mr. Firth, did you want to respond to that? Okay, Mr.
Now that Mike Barrett and the Conservatives have had their way with Kristian Firth, they cut him up really hard. He's looking just to escape, looking to bail. Didn't schedule enough time, he says.
Can I speak quickly, Mr. Chair?
No, sorry, Mr. Firth, sorry. We're attending something else, but we'll get to you shortly.
Yeah, I'm saying it's been 3 hours right now, and this is kind of where I think I can be.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I have to ask you to stay, Mr. Firth, and we may be able to get to our last couple of questioning rounds, but I just have to ask you to stand by for a bit here. So
Firth was allowed to leave a couple of minutes later. The thing wrapped up pretty much right after that. But what is going on with this ARRIVECAN scam app? What was going on with GC Strategies? Where did all this money go? Why doesn't this guy have answers to any of the questions? Why hasn't he been in front of the committee in 16 months? There's so many questions. We're going to try to find the answers. My name's Ehren. This is Question Period Canada. We try to have fun here with Canadian politics and share that. The times are tough in Canada, right? Everybody's so poor compared to how they were even 4 years ago. It's crazy. Like and subscribe. Canadian politics right here. Remember to have something healthy to eat today. And thank goodness the spring is coming. It'll be a little easier to stay warm at night. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of this committee investigation, we've got the whole video right here at the end. You can check that out. That's it. We'll check you next video. Thanks for watching.